been patiently waiting in.
Okay.
And then we'll get started if that works for you.
That is perfect.
Okay, here they come. All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to this South Florida PGA education. We appreciate you being a part of it. Just a couple housekeeping items before we get started. I just wanted to remind everybody to keep themselves on mute during the presentation so there's no distractions as our presenter speaks. In addition to that, if you have any questions, we're just going to ask that you please hold them to the end. We'll do a little Q&A at the end with our presenter. So if you have anything, just please save it till the end. And when we do open the floor for questions, just use the chat feature to enter any of the questions you have. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Stacy Dunn. She joins us from Maui Jim. She's going to speak to us today about the importance of wearing sunglasses and eye health and everything associated with the eyes and being outside so much as we do in the golf industry. So Stacy, appreciate you being with us. I'll turn the floor over to you.
Thank you. Aloha, Jackie, and aloha, everybody, and mahalo of opportunity to speak to the South Florida PGA section. My name is Stacy Dunn. I've been with Maui Jim. This is my 25th year with Maui Jim sunglasses. I am a golfer. I'm much more enthusiastic than I am accomplished. But living in Florida, I recognize the need to wear sunglasses when you're playing golf. Sunglasses are not an accessory. They are a necessity when you're playing golf outdoors. It always makes me kind of crazy that people are going to spend 4 or 5 hours out playing golf while you're warming up and you're playing your round. The sun's out, it's in the heart of the day. And people are really good about putting on sunscreen, but they don't wear sunglasses at all, or they wear inexpensive sunglasses that don't have enough protection in them. So sunglasses should be a part of your daily uniform when you're playing, when you're teaching, when you're doing things outdoors. Even on cloudy days, you should be wearing sunglasses. So that's why I'm known as the sunglass evangelist. As a trainer for Maui Jim, I educate eye care professionals, golf professionals, and retail associates and all sorts of channels of trade about the need to wear sunglasses in all sorts of conditions. So we're going to talk about a little bit about Maui Jim, our brand story, but emphasis is on sun facts and eye health and why you should be wearing sunglasses. So the story of Maui Jim, if you saw my opening slide, you realize that this company, our sunglass, was created to deal with the effects of sunlight in Hawaii. We're a little closer to the equator. The sun is a little stronger. And we were born on Kaanapali Beach, and 2 great golf courses right in our neighborhood, of course, Kaanapali and Kapalua, where we sell a lot of sunglasses because people need to wear sunglasses when they're playing golf in Maui and in Florida. So our home office is in the town of Lahaina, which is a few miles south of Kaanapali. And the word Lahaina in the Hawaiian culture means cruel sunlight. Because when you look at this map of Maui, of this picture of Maui, a satellite image, you see that West Maui is very brown. It's because West Maui and the western part of the Hawaiian Islands, western halves, are all pretty sunny. In Maui, we average over 320 full days of sunlight every year. But if you look at the eastern half of the island, eastern Maui is considered rainforest. It's very cloudy and very humid on that side of the island. And we average quite a bit of rain on that side of the island. However, even though that's the rainy or cloudy side of the island, you get a lot of those beautiful images of rainbows because of all the humidity in the air. You still are exposed to UV on those cloudy, rainy, humid days. So this taught us as a sunglass company, we need different lens colors for different light conditions. But even in cloudy light conditions, as I mentioned, you're still exposed to UV or ultraviolet light. And UV is what damages your eyes. So it comes from our homeland. So what we make at Maui Jim, we've designed sunglasses for Hawaii that you can wear anywhere. So we understand the need for polarization, but our lenses also enhance color. Because if you've ever been to Maui, been to Hawaii, you understand how beautiful and lush and tropical and colorful it is. So we want to create sunglasses that are polarized, sunglasses that eliminate glare, because that's what polarized lenses do. But we also want to enhance color. And this is especially beneficial when you play golf, and especially when it comes to the color green, because we want to help you read the putting surface better. So we actually created a lens that enhances the color green. So what makes Maui Jim different from other brands? And please understand, we do most of our business through eye care professionals. Eye doctors love the Maui Jim lens. So what makes us different from other brands is we've actually created our lens technology to work with the anatomy of the human eye, allowing your eyes to process more information more easily while using less effort. So that frees up more energy for you to use on other parts of whatever task you're doing. So that's what's important about our lens. So we can sum that up in 3 words: color, clarity, detail. Our lenses enhance color, working with the anatomy of the human eye. Our lens materials are very clear. And we're going to talk about lens materials and how important that is. It's something that's overlooked 99% of the time, and it shouldn't be. So clear lens materials that are lightweight and impact resistant. And then finally, detail. Because all of our lenses are polarized, we have a film inside of our lens that eliminates or absorbs glare, allowing your eyes to relax and see better again. So you're using less effort to accomplish that. So color, clarity, and detail that you can only get from Maui Jim. So our lens is designed to keep bad light out, but to let good light in. And for the human experience, part of good light is color, because human beings are driven by their vision. So this is our dark gray lens. This is downtown Honolulu. And even while you're wearing a dark green lens, you're still able to discern all the different variations of color. You can still see all of the colors of that rainbow over downtown Honolulu. So that's what our lenses are designed to do. Now, unfortunately, there are people that will tell you that you cannot wear a polarized lens to play golf. And unfortunately, that is a myth that a lot of people buy into. Polarization, wearing a polarized lens actually creates an advantageous situation for your vision, because it increases your visual acuity, because you can now see beyond the glare, because polarized lenses are designed to eliminate glare. Your eyes are much more relaxed because you're not squinting. And finally, wearing a polarized lens increases your depth perception. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people who say just the opposite of that. And there's not one scintilla of scientific evidence to prove that wrong. That's just someone who doesn't make a polarized lens throwing that out into the mix. But you can see more things wearing a polarized lens than you can without. Now, is there a difference between polarized lenses? Absolutely. And the difference is in the quality of the polarizing film that a manufacturer uses, also known as efficiency. How much how much glare is that film eliminating? So there is a difference in polarized lenses. Our film, we happen to own our film at Maui Jim. It's considered the most efficient polarized film in the world, meaning it absorbs more glare than anyone else's film. It's made exclusively for us, and it is the most expensive polarizing film in the world to manufacture. So that's reason number 1 why Maui Jims cost more than other sunglass brands. So there is a difference. We are considered in the sunglass industry a premium sunglass brand. Premium means we cost more than $100 US, but we're also considered premium because of all of the technology that's in our lenses. And our technology is both patented and proprietary. Proprietary means trade secret. So there's some stuff that we do, we don't divulge the process or the recipe for some of the stuff that we do, but that does lead to a higher price point, but it also makes the lens premium in terms of performance as well. Remember, we do most of our business through eye doctors. Our lenses are also endorsed by the Skin Cancer Foundation. And this is important, especially for golfers and golf professionals, because we play golf during the day and we want to eliminate all of the negatives of sunlight from your environment when you're wearing our sunglasses. The sun is your frenemy. It grows our crops and it lightens, it illuminates the world, but there are some negative things to sunlight, and we want to eliminate those negative things when you're wearing Maui Jim sunglasses. So dermatologists also like Maui Jim sunglasses because we protect all the thin, fragile skin in your eye socket, in your eye periorbital area, and that's why we have the endorsement of dermatologists as well. So why does this matter to your customer? As I mentioned earlier, humans, we're driven by sight. As a matter of fact, 58% of respondents in a survey said that they would miss their sight the most compared to their other senses. And then that number actually goes up as people get older. People 55 and older, 71% of those people said that they would not want to lose their sight. So investing in quality eyewear is extremely important, not only to young people, but it grows more important as you age. So at Maui Jim, we approach our business from an eye health perspective, and I want to educate you on some of the facts about sunlight that can affect and damage your vision if you don't protect your vision. So we talk about UV. That's the most important part of the sun protection conversation. It's about UV, but there are other elements involved. So we talk about skin cancer at Maui Jim and the need to protect your eyes from skin cancer, blue light protection, dark adaptation, and finally, just the general eye comfort of wearing a sunglass that you can actually see out of without glare and without exuding extra effort to see through a bad lens material. So when we talk about UV exposure, unfortunately, some bad things can happen, and some are definitely worse than others. Some of the most common things are, of course, photokeratitis, which is also known as sunburn of the surface of the eye. This is a temporary condition. However, constant exposure, photokeratitis can lead to some issues. Pterygium, surfer's eye, the growth on the surface of your eye. It's painful to have it and it's painful to remove it. So you want to avoid the development of pterygiums. Cataract, which is basically your eye creating a callus on itself. The yellowing and hardening of the surface of the eye, that's caused by UV. And then ultimately, macular degeneration is caused by UV. There's also some genetic and environmental factors involved as well. But protecting your eyes from UV can help prevent some of these things from happening. So let's talk about UV and what it is. UV is invisible to the human eye, but it's the silent, invisible passenger that rides along in the golf cart with visible light, sunlight. Now, sunlight comes down from the sun, and once it hits planet Earth, one of two things is going to happen. Sunlight is either going to be absorbed from a soft surface like carpet, or it's going to be reflected from a different surface, a shiny surface like ice, water, snow, concrete, asphalt, even grass reflects sunlight. But all of those things also reflect UV. But because UV is invisible to the human eye, and because it does not have a temperature, you're not aware that UV is that it's present and that it's also reflected. So UV is strongest in the heart of the day, 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. when everybody wants to play golf, right? They're usually on their back nine or they're starting their front nine. Not during the heart of the summer in Florida, but during a nice spring or winter day, that's when most people are playing golf, right? Now, there's another myth out there that only dark lenses protect your eyes from UV. Again, that's not true. You can make lighter color sunglass lenses that are every bit as protective as a dark gray lens when it comes to UV protection. You can even make a clear lens. A lot of us who wear eyewear, you can have your clear lenses made to be 100% UV protecting. Now, remember, UV is also reflected, even though it's invisible, it's also reflected just like visible light is reflected. So snow reflects UV, sand reflects UV, water reflects UV, even grass reflects UV. So again, because it's invisible, it doesn't have a temperature, you're not aware that it's there. Now, in our hemisphere, you actually need sunglasses more during the winter than you do during the summer. And that's because during the winter, the sun approaches planet Earth at a lower angle. During the summer, it comes from a higher angle. During the winter, it comes from a lower angle. And so snow reflects UV, all of those things, you have a lot more glare. But another factor, especially for people who participate in winter sports, is altitude. For every 1,000 feet you go above sea level, your UV exposure increases about 4%. So if you think of Vail, Colorado, which has an altitude of 8,000 feet, 8 times 4, you're getting 32% more UV exposure in Vail, Colorado than you are on the beach in Miami. But because UV is invisible and it doesn't have a temperature, you're not aware of that. So UV and altitude are a dangerous mix. So why is UV protection important? Because according to the Australia Skin Cancer Foundation, your eyes are 10 times more sensitive to UV than your skin is. And again, we're really good about putting on sunscreen, but we might go out and not put on sunglasses or wear inexpensive sunglasses where the UV protection could actually be wiped off of the lens when you clean your lens. So we need to change that around and invest more in our eyes than we do in sunscreen, but sunscreen is still important. So this chart, this is called the UV index. And we hear about this every day on our morning news shows, and we'll hear about it on the radio in the morning when we're driving to work. And here in Florida, we talk about today's UV index is going to be this or that, depending on how sunny or cloudy or whatever the day is. Now, it typically goes from 1 to 10. But as we are experiencing right now with the heat in July of 2023, UV, and we're facing temperature extremes, and the UV is also at an extreme level. So UV can go to 11 and 12, the UV index. But the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, who puts out the UV index, they tell you you should start wearing sunglasses when the UV levels are low. And you should wear sunglasses every day because even on cloudy days, you're exposed to UV. So how do we start the conversation in a fairly innocuous way? Because we don't want to scare people, but we do need to inform them. So I have a lot of eye doctors' offices and I have a lot of pro shops that will put up today's UV index, maybe on the door to the shop. And people come in and say, what's the big deal with the UV index? It's only a 7. I thought 10 was bad. Oh, no, no, no. You need to wear sunglasses all of the time. This is a way of starting that conversation and educating people, informing them, hey, you know, UV is a big deal to your eyes. You don't want bad things to happen like photokeratitis or pterygiums or cataracts. So you need to protect your vision, even on cloudy days. So we have the endorsement of the Skin Cancer Foundation at Maui Jim, and it's on every sunglass we produce, not just our luxury collection, all of our sport frames like Ho'okipa, which is our #1 seller for golf. All of our lenses are recommended by the Skin Cancer Foundation. And that is because on the human body, 5 to 10% of all skin cancer happens here in the periorbital area. So I would say 5% if you live in Alaska, closer to 10% if you live in Florida. And the reason for that is when we put on sunscreen, we never put sunscreen on here. Because if you've ever gotten sunscreen in your eyes, you've done it exactly one time and you learned from it. Because there's a lot of chemicals in sunscreen that create a burning sensation on your eyes until eventually your eye tears up enough to wash that away. So then people avoid their periorbital area when they're putting on sunscreen. And if you're not wearing sunglasses, that leaves this area exposed to damage from UV or ultraviolet light. But every Maui Jim is manufactured to have the strength to correct that sunlight. So think of Maui Jims as sunscreen for your eyelids, and will greatly reduce the opportunity for that to occur. The number one skin cancer that occurs here is basal cell carcinoma of the lower eyelid. So that's what we want to avoid. So we want to protect you from UV. We also want to protect you from something called HEV, or high energy visible blue light. Now, there are different types of blue light. We've got bad blue and we've got good blue. What we want to protect you from here, something known as haze or scatter or blur. So wearing a sunglass can actually clear up your environment because we're going to absorb all that bad blue light. Because if you don't block that out, it creates a lot of eye strain. It can create headaches. So we want to eliminate that from your sight environment, really clean things up for you. And this is especially good for golfers and people that drive, because we're going to clear up that distance vision for you. So again, we want to eliminate the eye strain and the headaches that can come from that. We also address something called dark adaptation, and we do this in two ways. We do it short term and we do it long term. So short term, making lenses that are clear and enhance color and eliminate the haze so that you feel comfortable leaving your sunglasses on when you're going in and out of shadows and light. One thing you can do if you really want to protect your vision, make sure you put your sunglasses on right before you step outside. That reduces some of the shock to your eyes, makes it more relaxing to go from outdoors to indoors. But we also protect dark adaptation long term because we protect the photoreceptors of the human eye, also known as rods and cones. So if we're able to protect them, protecting your eyes during the day helps to prolong your night vision. So dark adaptation is important to us. You'll typically hear people say, wow, I just don't see that well at dusk anymore. When we change from light to dark, that's a tough time of the day for your eyes to adjust. But if you wear good sunglasses during the day, that will help prevent that discomfort from happening. And finally, the general eye comfort of wearing a sunglass you can actually see through. There was a study that said a lot of people don't like to wear sunglasses because it makes things too dark and they feel like they lose the ability to focus. And those people are probably wearing an inexpensive sunglass by a manufacturer that doesn't care as much about the quality of the lens material. So we want to make sure that things are still visible, but we want to eliminate glare, and that's what polarized lenses do. But we also want to enhance color. So once you start wearing a good sunglass, you're kind of going to become addicted to wearing that lens all the time. And so again, that's when you kind of teach yourself that your sunglasses should be part of your daily uniform. Again, it's a necessity, not an accessory. And that's what we need to educate ourselves about. So you need sunglasses all year, and you need sunglasses in every lighting condition because you want to protect your eyes from UV while you're eliminating glare and enhancing color. And that's what our lenses are designed to do. Now, again, polarization, we truly feel is an advantage at Maui Jim, but also AAA, the American Automobile Association, now recommends that people invest in polarized sunglasses because they say that it's more relaxing when you're driving and you're eliminating that glare from sunlight, whether or not there's snow. But remember, sunlight is also reflected off of pavement and asphalt and concrete. So when you have that glare, if you don't eliminate it, there's a 16% increase in car accidents for people that don't protect their eyes from glare. So as I mentioned earlier, everything we do at Maui Jim is protected. It's either patented or proprietary. No one else can duplicate our technology. So we proudly put our patent numbers on the temple. This is not an earpiece. This is called a temple. And we put our patent numbers on the left temple of every frame to show that what you're getting from a Maui Jim, you can only get from Maui Jim. So our lens design is called Polarized Plus 2. So this is the second. This is Polarized Lenses 2.0 for this company. And what's different about Polarized Plus 2 is the fact that our lenses enhance color. So all Maui Jims are polarized. We eliminate glare. And so your eyes are relaxed and you can see more with less effort. We believe in comprehensive UV and HEV protection. So we're going to block 100% of harmful UV, and we're also going to absorb that haze, scatter, or blur, the bad blue light, the high energy visible blue that can create eye strain or headaches. We also, different front side treatments. We make lenses with mirrors, lenses with bi-gradient mirrors, colored mirrors. We also make lenses without mirrors, just whatever you prefer. But you do have an advantage to having, when you have a mirror on a lens, there's an advantage because mirrors reflect, and it also reduces the light transmittance back into the lens surface. All of our lenses have a hydrophobic, oleophobic treatment on the front and back of every lens. This is an advantage for scratch resistance and to help you keep your lenses clean. So you want hydrophobic on the front of the lens to repel water. So if you're out on your boat or your jet ski, you get splashed by a wave, the water's going to drip off the lens like Rain-X on a car windshield. You want hydrophobic on the back of the lens to repel sweat. You want oleophobic on the front of the lens to help repel the greasy smudges that if you bump into your glasses when you move them up or something, you want to repel that grease. You want oleophobic on the back of the lens. It makes it easier to keep your lenses clean from sunscreen and foundation and moisturizer. So the hydrophobic oleophobic treatment basically seals the lens and it adds one more layer of scratch resistance. And at Maui Jim, we put that treatment on the front and the back of every Maui Jim lens. Now, Clear Shell is our proprietary scratch-resistant treatment. It's on the front and back of every Maui Jim lens that is not made of glass. And we're going to talk about glass lenses in a minute. But again, it adds to durability and scratch resistance. You want something called anti-reflective treatment. It shouldn't be on the front of the lens. It should be on this part of the lens. That's where we put it. So what this does on the back of the lens, it takes light from behind you and absorbs it. So there's no bounce back glare off of your lens surface into your eye. This provides greater clarity for the lens material, and it reduces eye fatigue because you're not worried about the reflections off of anything on the inside of your lens. So it adds, it's an energy preserver. But finally, this is a really cool thing about Maui Jim is the fact that our lenses enhance color because a human eye responds to 3 particular colors: certain shade of blue, certain shade of green, certain shade of red. So those are the colors we want to isolate and strengthen while you look through a darkening sunglass lens. This is very difficult and very expensive to do. So in order to do this, we use something called rare earth elements. The same stuff you make computer chips out of, we actually incorporate into the lens structure at Maui Jim. And that's what enables us to isolate the specific bandwidths of red, green, and blue light that the human eye prefers. Again, this is another reason why eye doctors love our lens, because we're protecting you from the bad stuff, but we're bringing in the good stuff in a very relaxed way. And that's what makes Maui Jim different. And this is all patented technology. No one else enhances color to the extent of Maui Jim, and no one else does it the way that Maui Jim does it. And again, that's what sets us apart. Now, let's talk about lens materials. This is something important. You know, that saying, you got to spend money to make money. Well, at Maui Jim, we're big believers in proper lens materials. So we actually own all of our lens materials. So yes, we make glass lenses, but we own our own glass. It's the thinnest, most lightweight glass lens out there. And glass is the king. It's the top of the mountain when it comes to lens materials because it's the clearest material out there. And for those of us who live in Florida, we love glass lenses because glass is the best material to wear on salt water. Now, we also own our own types of plastic lenses, and they're trade secret. We don't divulge the recipe and the process for our plastic lenses. But let me explain to you why we own our own lens materials. It's based on something called Abbey value. Abbey is the last name of a guy who came up with a scale that basically indicates how clear a lens material is, meaning it's going to have less distortion and less chromatic aberration. Basically, you want light to be able to pass through a lens material quickly and without distortion. So theoretically, this scale goes from 0, which would be as clear as my iPhone, can't see through it at all, to 100, which would be perfectly clear. So right now, we only have the tangible goods to register Abbey value in a lens material, if you will, up to 60. So the higher the number, the more clear the lens material is. Now, if you look at Maui Jim and all the lens materials we own, they all have high Abbey values. And actually, our lens materials are actually clearer than the crystalline lens of a healthy human eye. So your eye has an Abbey value. If you don't have cataracts, your eye probably has an Abbey value between 45 and 50. If you have cataracts, your Abbey value is going to be a lot lower because your eye surface has, as I mentioned, kind of formed a callus. It's yellowed and it's hardened. And that's why you want to get cataracts removed to restore your vision, restore that clarity. So we came upon an idea a few years ago. Why would you ever wear a lens material that's less clear than your eye is?
Hold on. I sent him a text. Can you give me a quote for painting my house? But it auto spelled.
If you could just remember to put yourself on mute, that would be awesome. So a few years ago,
never called me back.
we, as I mentioned, we discerned that it would be wrong to put a lens material in front of someone's eye that they would have to work harder to see through. So in the sunglass industry, the number 1 used lens material is polycarbonate. We do not use polycarbonate at Maui Jim. First off, it's 60-year-old lens technology. And all these lens materials we've developed within the last 8-10 years. So this is state-of-the-art technology that we use. So polycarbonate, look at that Abbey value. It's half as clear as glass. It's half as clear as Maui Brilliant and Maui Pure, which are the lens materials we put in our sport frames. So your eye has to work harder to see through the material. And polycarbonate is very soft, so it scratches easily and it cracks and crazes. So that's why we developed our own lens materials at Maui Jim. We basically built better mousetraps than polycarbonate. So if you're wearing a polycarbonate lens and you have a headache at the end of the day, here's why. It's harder for your eye to process information through that lens material, which is why we are out of the polycarbonate lens material business at Maui Jim. So again, inside that left temple of a Maui Jim frame, we're going to give you the name of the style in your hand. We also give you a couple 2- and 3-letter codes to indicate the lens material in that frame. So STG would be super thin glass in that frame. MB, Maui Brilliant. MP, Maui Pure. But all of our lens materials have high clarity, they're lightweight, and they're high impact resistance. So that's important to us. Now, when it comes to lens colors, remember, the darkness doesn't matter. Every Maui Jim lens is equally protective against UV. Every Maui Jim lens is polarized. Every Maui Jim lens enhances color. The only difference is some lenses let in more light than others, but they let in more usable light, not more dangerous light. Remember, sunny side of the island, cloudy side of the island. So when it comes to golf at Maui Jim, we do have people that wear our neutral gray lens. And as you saw earlier, you can still wear that dark lens and still see color. But what we want to recommend for golfers and golf professionals is wear one of our contrast lenses like Maui Rose or Bronze or Maui HT. The reason why is gray is close to blue and people tend to lose the ball in flight. If you wear rose or bronze or gray, it keeps that little white ball wider longer in the sky as it flies away from you. And if you're a club professional, that's important to you because people won't lose their golf balls as much. They'll be able to spot that white golf ball in the rough. They'll be able to see where it went. Did you miss the dog leg? Did you go a little bit further right or left than you needed to? You'll be able to spot it more easily in the sky while it's still in flight or when it's in the rough. That's the beauty of a contrast lens. Now, we have different lens colors and we have different front side lens treatments, different colored mirrors, because we have a different audience. You know, you have young people and old people and all sorts of different tastes and preferences in between. So that's why we make different front side lens treatments. The ultimate performance of the lens is keep bad light out, let good light in, and part of good light is color, no matter what lens treatment you want. Now, we spend all this time making our beautiful lenses in Italy and Japan. So our frames are also made in Italy and Japan. We love titanium at Maui Jim because it's lightweight and it's strong and it's durable and it's anti-corrosive. We use acetate for color and design, and we use a lot of nylon for durability. So our frames and our lenses are made in Italy and Japan, and that's unique in the optical industry. So let's talk about how sunglasses should fit. Ideally, your sunglasses should go from brow bone to cheekbone. That's how big the lens should be. And it should have a little bit of curvature to curve around your eye socket area. So you see a couple of our brand ambassadors, Ernie Els and the Mechanic. Miguel Angel Jimenez. Jimenez in particular, he wears his Maui Jims every round, every day. He wears different lens colors. He's one of the best ambassadors that you could ask for because he's a big believer in protecting his eyes from sunglasses. And his short game is pretty good, so he must be doing something right. So as I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of myth and misinformation that's out there. And I want to help you overcome those myths and misinformation. So it's a myth that you can't wear polarized lenses to play golf or tennis or pickleball or on snow. It's a matter of preference. Especially like, we can't wear polarized lenses on snow because of black ice. You can't see black ice anyway. Polarization has nothing to do with it. But I will tell you the #1 selling ski goggle in the world is rose polarized. That's the #1 selling ski goggle combination for snow sports. And again, for tennis and golf, absolutely you can wear a polarized lens. There's some brand out there that claims, oh, a little glare is good. Some people can't wear a polarized lens just because it's about 3% of the population cannot wear a polarized lens for whatever reason, but you don't need a little glare to do anything. You need to get rid of glare to relax your eyes so your eyes can see better through a nice clear lens material. So don't buy into that myth. You can't wear polarized lenses to play golf because it decreases your depth perception. Oh, no. Polarized lenses do just the opposite. They increase your depth perception. If you don't believe me, look at that picture right there. You're seeing the different striations of color. You can absolutely see the little mounds of sand, and you recognize that some are lower and higher than others. We're eliminating the glare off of water, so you can see where the sun is shining and the current of the water. So that's a very relaxing sensation to look through that lens. So the most common objections for people investing in quality sunglasses, they're worried about the price point, they're worried that they're going to break them, and they're worried about loss. So how do you overcome those objections with people? First off, the price is high. Hey, listen, it's about eye health. You need to invest in sunglasses from a company that's invested in creating the technology to keep those bad things from happening to your eyes. And once you try on a pair of quality sunglasses, you'll never wear a cheap sunglass again. And finally, buy from a company that has good customer service and a good warranty. We do repairs at Maui Jim. If you damage a Maui Jim, don't throw them away. Send them in to us. We will sell you replacement lenses if you scratch your lenses. We will repair damages if you break your temple in a car door. We actually replace temples and nose pads for free at Maui Jim, and we turn our stuff around quickly. So if you spend more money, you should get the customer service that comes along with your investment in the technology. Now, if you're worried that you're going to break them, as I mentioned, we do repairs, but we also use materials like nylon and titanium, where it takes a lot of effort to damage those materials because they're designed, we like them for their strength and their durability. So again, pay attention to the warranty card, and we give you instructions on care and cleaning on how to take care of your product so that you don't have to worry about breaking them. But lens materials and frame materials are a big part of that. And finally, people are worried about losing their sunglasses. We give you a case, and a lot of people wear cords or whatever, especially in Florida. And if you value the vision you get through a Maui Jim or whatever lens, again, it's going to become a necessity. It's going to become part of your daily wardrobe, so you're not going to leave home without it. But I say that people typically lose sunglasses because they buy the wrong lens color. Remember, they're convinced that they have to get that dark gray lens to be protected. And that's a myth. So here in Florida, light changes all day long. We might start off perfectly sunny in the morning, then the clouds come out, then we actually have storms, then the sun comes back out. Remember, you can wear any of our lens colors and be perfectly protected. And it's just a matter of your preference. But I don't think that dark gray should be your only lens color. I think you should wear rose or bronze. You're going to get equal protection. You can leave them on more of the day. So if you're wearing them more of the day, you're less likely to lose them. So that helps to overcome that loss argument. So mahalo from everybody at Maui Jim. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you guys today. And now I would love to take your questions. Jackie, am I getting off easy here? Am I not going to get any?
No, I don't think so. Mike, are you trying to ask a question there? You're on mute if so.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Stacy, I've got a question.
Okay, hey.
So I wear prescription Maui Jims,
Uh-huh.
and just when my prescription changes, I just send the pair back to Maui Jim, and they can just put a replacement lens in.
Actually, you need to go through your eye care professional to do that. Florida is a licensed state, so you have to go through a licensed dispensing optician in the state of Florida to do that. But we can change your lenses. We may not have your style anymore, but we can restyle you. And going through an eye care professional, they're going to have the different lens colors, so you can try them on for yourself and see which you prefer, because you may want to change your lens color too.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll just say this, Mike, to go along. At Maui Jim, we make our own prescription lenses. We have our own lab. So if you go to an eye doctor and they say, oh, I can just give you my version of a Maui Jim, no, they can't. And it will say Maui Jim on the lens to prove that it came from our lab and that it has our patented and proprietary technology in that lens. Don't buy a counterfeit Maui Jim. No. Don't do it. Great question. Thank you.
Thank you.
If there's any other questions, feel free to speak them out loud or just put them in the chat, and I'll make sure they get to Stacy here.
Man, I'm getting lucky today.
Seriously. This doesn't seem fair.
Yeah. This is your chance, guys. I can help clear up some of the stuff that you might have heard from your buddy. I mean, you know, I tell people all the time, do you want to wear what your fishing buddy wears? Do you want to wear what your eye doctor wears when it comes to sunglasses? Oh, sure. Okay. We have a training program at Maui Jim. It's called Miyagi, and it's an online training program. So if you are a Maui Jim dealer and you haven't been able to get a personal use discount, the way you get a discounted pair of Maui Jims is you go to Miyagi and you enter, you can go to MauiJimTraining.com. You don't need the www, just MauiJimTraining.com. That will automatically take you to Miyagi. You register your account. You go online and you basically take about 25 minutes worth of training and you earn a personal use discount. Now, you have to be a Maui Jim dealer in order to get that discount. If you're not a Maui Jim dealer, we can get you in touch with one of your Maui Jim account executives here in Florida, and that will vary based on your location in the state. We have a couple different reps in Florida if you're interested in carrying the line. So it's a great, easy online training. And we also do a lot of tea gifts and fittings and programs. We have programs set up for that. Super easy. We ship the product. We come in, we do the fitting for you. We ship the product back out. So for your member guests, your programs, anything like that, we have a great program. And your customers leave with some great sunglasses that are going to protect them. And for you guys, it's like pushing the easy button. We do all the heavy lifting for you.
Yeah, I told Stacy this before the call, but Maui Jim came in at the beginning of the year and fitted the whole staff here at the section. Super easy process. They had, you know, all kinds of pairs on display. We got to try them all on, find what worked best for us. And then they wrote down the one that, you know, we wanted, we selected, and we were able to just go in and order it, you know, with our discount code or whatever it was. And they were shipped, you know, right away. And they've been excellent. They're also coming out to our junior major next week, and they are providing sunglasses to all the participants as a tea gift, which will be awesome. Jason backing me up. He says we used Maui Jim for our men's and ladies guest days in the past. They were great, and the members' feedback was terrific.
Awesome.
yeah, it's a super simple process if you do bring them out for something of that nature. And I told Stacy my pair of sunglasses is maybe the favorite thing I own. So I love them and try to take great care of them.
It's funny how, you get a good pair of sunglasses and all of a sudden you're just like, wow, this is my new favorite thing. I had no idea what I was missing before, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just a worthy investment, and you drive for show, you putt for dough. We create lenses. Again, we want to, Maui HT pops the color green better than our other lenses. So we consider Maui HT our golf lens, because it's going to, show you the difference between that blade of grass versus that blade of grass. And hopefully it gives you that little, gives you the red carpet to the hole when you're playing with your buddies. So there's no guarantee with that, but we try. Awesome. Now, if any of you guys happen to be Maui Jim accounts and you do want myself or a Maui Jim, your AE, to come in and do a training, we'll absolutely come into your shop and give you guys a real quick 30-minute training to educate your staff about eye health. Because first off, it's important for your staff for all the time they spend outdoors, but it's important when you're going to sell it to your members or their guests, so that they understand the visual advantage, so that it makes your round of golf more enjoyable. And that's what we want. We want people to play early and well and often. It's job security for all of us, right?
All right. Well,
the rest of the day off, this is easy.
Yeah, if there's no more questions, we'll wrap it up. I'll make sure I send a recap email. Stacy, I'll share your contact info in case people have some questions. And Jen, maybe you as well. So if people want to set, anything up at their clubs or get involved with Maui Jim, they can do so. But we appreciate your time, Stacy, this morning. Appreciate you sharing all that information with us, and hopefully we can go forward playing some better golf and protecting our eyes while doing it.
There you go.
Thank you, Stacy.
Awesome. Mahalo, everybody. Have a great day.
Mahalo.